Hi, I'm Bruna Leao, and I'm going to be doing my evaluation and reflection of Unit 3. The first part consists of me analyzing and evaluating the futurism group and their performance. Their performance, if I were to describe it to someone else, would be a group of people talking about justice or the elections or stuff like that, and them deciding that the right choice would be to have a new election. But there's this one person who's being extremely not racist, misogynistic, and he's just saying his opinions back and forth, not really caring about what other people think. Creates a fight, creates discourse that could be metaphorical, but in the performance was literal, which was really effective. With the time when the two men of the futurist group kind of were like fighting and almost punched each other like in a stage fight. It was really effective. It made me gasp. But basically after that happened and he started doing a monologue, they just dragged the dude off, and and they just like started to jump off boxes, technically stomping on him, stomping out his ideas metaphorically. If I were to interpret the message in this performance, this performance would be something similar to how justice speaks bluntly, kind of. How people often speak without thinking of the consequences and often don't want to hear other people, kind of how they are in a echo chamber, create of their own thoughts, and they have to be forced to hear sometimes what other people think, and how people think just because they have the right to do something, they should always do it, even though that's unethical. I think this performance was great. They used a lot of the textual requirements of theirs. I saw how they literally quoted from the from the Constitution. I saw how they incorporated a lot of dialogue, and a lot of their physical requirements were present as well. Them jumping on top of the dude, though it wasn't as effectively demonstrated through the video, because he was sitting on the chair and a little too much to the right. So whenever they jumped off, instead of landing on him and stepping on him, they stepped just to the side of him, so he wasn't really getting stomped out like as he should have been. And then like they used their prop 3 times, which was a little copy of the Constitution. They slapped somebody with it, they threw it at somebody, they just held it and read from it. That was a really great use of the prop. And if I were to give it a grade, I'd probably give them an A, because it was greatly thought out. Sure, the execution could have been a little better especially on the end over there, but outside of the little of the scale part of it, it was a really great performance, because like they planned it out. It's just on at the moment whenever they did it, it wasn't executed as smoothly as it could have been, which would happen. The second part I have to evaluate is my group members. I have 3 group members: Victoria, Yorda, and Danielle. If I were to I think I would start with Yorda. Yorda, in my opinion, was the greatest help when working on this project. She was always communicating with me about meetings. Out of the many meetings, she only missed out on one, and that was because she wasn't on campus. And she let me know that ahead of time whenever I texted her. And She was a great help, and she created the team teach that we started doing the slides of. She taught me how to use the slide program that we decided. She helped me decide what kind of information should have been looked at. She's the one who got our props, which were the 2 hula hoops for our performance. Yorda was a great help, and she was great at communicating everything. So if I were to give her a grade on her group participation, would be an A. Another member was Danielle. She wasn't as much there as Yorda, but she went to every meeting. Maybe missed out a couple, but like not many, maybe like 2. She wasn't as present during the team teach as I would have liked, but she did her part. She worked on her slides. We didn't have to like hold her hand or anything. She did all of her work, all the work we asked to. And whenever we started working towards the actual final performance, the performance, she was there for every meeting that came to she practiced everything. She gave her opinions on the performance. We changed a lot of the performance because she thought of a great idea. She was very valuable, and I really liked her. Working with her was a delight. She wasn't too opinionated, but whenever she tried to take over the entire performance, but she did let her opinions be known, and she was a great help because of it. I would give her an A as well because of all those facts. Victoria, she was there for a lot of the meetings for the team teach. She was great help. She did all her slides. We never really had to ask her to do any extra work because she always did her work just fine. She did miss a lot of the meetings, though I would like to mention that some of them were because she had an exam that she had to take she wasn't allowed to take at another time, and another one was because her grandma had died, and she missed 2 because of that. She missed one because her grandma died, and the other one because she had to go to the grandma's funeral, which is completely understandable, and I don't blame her for that. I just wish she had communicated that a little bit better ahead of time, so weren't in the meeting, and then we found out afterwards during the meeting that that was why she was gone. I think we would have been able to get on with the work faster if she had communicated just a tiny bit better. During the performance, because of all these things that happened with her grandma, she wasn't able to be as present, but she did all the work that we asked of her. She studied her lines. She practiced her performance as best as she could without us there. We did have to explain her more about the performance on the day of the performance, but that was fine. We did it, and she did a great job. But because of all her days that she missed the performance missed practice, without letting us know ahead of time, I would like to give her like a B plus, like an 89 if I were to say. But that'd be just my personal opinion. If I were to evaluate myself, I feel like I was a very productive member of the group. I was the one who created most of the meetings. I was the one who set most of them up and reminded everyone that we needed to get stuff done. I would be like, hey, we have workshop on this specific day, so we need to get the script done. I wrote most of the script. Whenever we had a requirement that we knew we were missing, I was the one who would like find a place to put it. I came up with most of the ideas for the performance. I talked to Elliot oftentimes to come whenever we had difficulties with because of a missing member or any of that. I tried to accommodate my group's ideas and beliefs as much as I could. I changed a lot of the script whenever somebody gave me ideas, and I tried to not hold on too tightly to the performance. I learned that I am really anxious when it comes to deadlines, and that I really need to have a good system, or otherwise I get myself in a frenzy trying to get everything done on time. I'd learned a lot about art and aesthetic communication during this entire unit. I learned that just that art and performance are not exactly the same thing, that they can unite to make something completely new. And I learned that performance as it by itself, it's something beautiful, but it doesn't have to be beautiful, and also doesn't have to be on a grand stage or on the TV. It can be in everything. That's why this class is called communicate performance in everyday life. It's a very fascinating. But going back to my group, I feel like I did a great job on communicating everything that was needed. I was the one who was always texting everyone reminders, and whenever I wasn't able to go, I tried to tell them a little ahead of time, or if I was late, I would let them know also. Um, that's basically it. Thank you so much. Have a good one.